It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Well, hello, everyone. Heather Dreger here of Smile. There's an oil for that. And I am so honored to have a different, unique, special guest today. This is the first opportunity I've actually got someone from doTERRA. And I loved it when, Jenny, when you came on and your title says doTERRA Philanthropy. So there's a little secret there, little tip as to who's coming on. So I am so honored to be part of a 25 collective community. And, you know, I joined doTERRA in 2019, went to convention, reluctantly, to be honest. And when I got there, honestly, there was a culture of doTERRA that I had no idea, I had never experienced with any other company. And I remember them making these little baby outfits with the Healing Hands Foundation. I'm like, wow, this is interesting. And so I started to make, donations to the Healing Hands Foundation, just a few dollars, and it comes up on our Canadian regular monthly order. And then it was in, I think, the spring of 2023. And by the time I went to convention in September of 2023, wow. I really was impressed with this new 25 collective community. And before we came on, we love the pre-show. I've been calling it Collective 25, and it's actually 25 Collective. So anyway, we had a little giggle about that. And this has been the heart of doTERRA for me ever since I started being part of this incredible community. And this year, 2024, most recent convention, I was invited to this luncheon, this event, and we're treated like royalty, that we're donating $25 each month to the Healing Hands Foundation. And they had growers from different countries. I got to meet so many people in the company that I would have never been able. There was Emily Wright on the stage. So it was just, that was one of the highlights of convention, was being able to attend this event, because I donate, the simplicity of donating $25 each month to this Healing Hands Foundation. So I'm going to be sharing more about my passion for this as we go. So my guest today is Jenny Deal, and she is the Donor Relations Manager at doTERRA Healing Hands. She loves connecting with new and lifelong donors with doTERRA alike, who share her passion to help doTERRA Healing Hands perpetuate their mission to support communities around the world becoming more healthy, safe, and self-reliant. She also oversees the Match program, where wellness advocates can get additional funding to double their fundraising efforts for philanthropic projects that align with the doTERRA Healing Hands mission. Welcome.
Hi, Heather. Thank you so much. It's such a delight to be on your podcast so we can talk about this wonderful community. They're truly incredible. So thank you.
My pleasure. And, I was maybe a long-winded in my intro, but I just really felt I wanted to share more of my own experience of why I want to have you as my guest. And the time that I invest daily with regards to interacting as a 25 Collective member. So let's start with, what is Healing Hands Foundation, along with, when was it founded, established? Let's get that foundational core information.
Yeah, so just breaking it down to the basics, doTERRA was founded in 2008. And since then, they've really been focused on giving back. That's been at the core of the doTERRA business. So 2 years after starting doTERRA, the founding executives created what we know as the doTERRA Healing Hands Foundation, which from the get-go, again, like I said, has been an integral part of the company. And for almost 15 years now, we've been on a mission as a foundation to empower individuals and communities through health, education, crisis release initiatives, helping all of those communities that we support. And it was really our founding executives. They're so generous and so kind. They had the foresight to create the foundation early on because they didn't want to miss out on a second where they could really make a positive difference while expanding their growing business with doTERRA. So that's how we came to have the doTERRA Healing Hands Foundation.
Can you share, what was the first thing that doTERRA did early on? Where did they go? What did they do that sparked this? We need to do more of this.
Yeah, so when they would go to sourcing areas and meet with the growers, we have quite a few stories and videos about this that are very fascinating. But they would just see the needs of those farmers. And I know we don't do this now, but very early on, we did micro lending to help these farmers get their land, get on their feet, really, so that they can have a business for themselves and their families. That was something very early on that we did. And it's since grown into the match program, disaster relief, because so many people want to do something when there's a crisis, but sometimes don't know what to do. So we like offering a simple way that can have a great benefit, honestly, around the world. And so our programs and initiatives have expanded since then, but we owe it all to our founding executives.
Wow, thank you. So 25 Collective is reasonably new, so people could donate at any time. There's a spot on the bottom of their order that you can click and donate on a regular basis. So can you share with us the 25 Collective and how that started and why it started and the impact that that's had?
Yes, absolutely. I'm so glad you asked this because the creation of the 25 Collective has quite an inspiring story. For as long as doTERRA Healing Hands has been around, like you said, donating has always been an option for wellness advocates. But back in 2022, we had a number of wellness advocates come to us, time and time again asking, what more can they do to support us? They'd been on the co-impact sourcing trips and seen the impact we've had together around the world. They also came back from those trips having seen the great needs of all of these communities firsthand. They were fired up. They wanted to do more. They were searching for something. We looked at them and we looked at our long list of projects that we had on hold and said, we have so many projects that we want to support, but we simply can't right now. We've given everything we can and we just can't exceed that limit. At some point you're capped at what you can do because the funds that are available are just finite. We're working with something that is capped and we have a point where we can't do more, right? So them coming to us was really just this beautiful opportunity. And after a few of these conversations with them back and forth, we were shocked at their response. I shouldn't have been shocked. We all know doTERRA's family is generous and powerful, but still, I was very shocked. They rallied behind the idea of creating a way for people like themselves and their equally passionate friends and family who have the means and desire to do more to be able to do just that. They needed a way to do more. So we teamed up with these wellness advocates to brainstorm and created the 25 Collective together. So I know that was a lot of explanation, and I know you asked me simply, what is it? And I'm finally here. The 25 Collective is a group of wellness advocates committed to empower communities around the world through the initiatives we offer here at doTERRA Healing Hands. These donors generously give, you said earlier, $25 or more a month to our foundation, and those funds support our humanitarian projects. And like I said, this was kicked off at Convention 2022, so it's fairly new in its development, but it's growing, and we couldn't be more excited for the future.
So I remember, I think it was the spring of 23, I learned about it and started participating. And if we as Canadians order an LRP from the United States, we can't donate. There's no box for us to donate. We have to have a Canadian order. So what we do is I just do a one-time order, and then I put the $25 donation. So there's an actual icon, and then it goes straight in. I don't have to have a product with it. I'm not paying for shipping. I'm not paying tax on it. And then in my order history, it shows up specifically as $25. And originally, I believe they had it was just part of your LRP. And I said, well, how can we make it so that people can donate and what if they don't have an LRP? So we're closing that door of the opportunity for some donations. And so they changed that, because it took me months and months of requesting, and they changed it so that you can just pop in there, do a one-time order, and there is more than $25. You can give 100, like there's the seal, right? And the amount that you wish to give. And that works. So I can just pop in onto the Canadian site, do a one-time order with my account, and then for my records as well. And I believe you get a tax receipt for that as well.
Yeah, and definitely it works. When we kicked it off, it was for US only, and we've been slowly trying to roll it out in other countries. And so Canada and New Zealand and Australia, they're doing amazing work to get that up and rolling and smoothing out so many wrinkles that we had at the beginning. And tax donations, yes, if we send those out, yeah.
Well, it's kind of fun. I don't know. I love the energy of 2025. So we've got 25 Collective in the 2025. And so what do you have in your role with doTERRA? Are there goals? What does 2025 look like from doTERRA's perspective for the 25 Collective community?
Yes, I would say we have two goals, and that is, first and foremost, just grow its membership. Right now, there's currently 900 members of the 25 Collective, and we want to stay focused and clear on what the 25 Collective is and bring that message to more people. So along with growing its membership, we also want to make sure our messaging is clear, that people aren't confused. It can be so easy when rolling something new out to just put it out there and not have it feel supported or clear. So we want to make sure it has that backbone and that structure so that people can understand what it is. And because it's so powerful, we don't want people to miss out on it. So our team at doTERRA Healing Hands is quite small. We couldn't be doing the scale of this work that we're currently doing without that force as large as 900 behind us. It's really incredible. So the volume of projects we're accomplishing is so much more because we have that support behind us. We're really linked hand in hand in this effort and hope to just crystallize our messaging and just make it available to more and more people this year.
Wonderful. There is a Facebook group, and there's lots of, you can ask questions, there's conversation, there's sharing. Recently, they shared with regards to the positive impact that doTERRA and the wellness advocates are having with the fires in Los Angeles. And they gave numbers as to how many advocates and the emergency relief kits and how many have been sent out. And they've had little videos with regards to how quickly with that, it's 72-hour kit, right? So how those advocates take action. Those Collective 25 are so dedicated to their mission to support humanity in their needs that goes to doTERRA. And I believe if it's by noon, they're out by 3 o'clock that afternoon, those kits. And they did the same thing with North Carolina, the flooding, and we got updates there. And with regards to the Maui fires. So right now, is it my understanding that the disaster relief is just in the United States?
Anyone can purchase them, but we can only ship them to a United States address.
Okay. So let's work on for 2025.
Yep. I'll write that down.
Your goal list is Canada. We have emergencies too. We're not as many people, but we definitely have needs in our community, and
Absolutely.
forest fires are definitely people being displaced from their communities and their home or losing their homes is probably one of the largest concerns. And so, yeah, there you go. There's one of your.
Thank you.
I'm giving you a goal for your 2025.
We're always looking to improve. So thank you. Thank you.
And so I love that Facebook community.
Mm-hmm.
And being a member of the Collective 2025, you have some perks. So do you want to just share, like, what are some, other than being able to be part of this Facebook group, what are some of the other bonuses with that commitment each month?
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, while we're talking about the Facebook group, one of the reasons why I love it is that's the best way to hear from us what your donation is doing, to get updates. But as I'm sure you know, Heather, building impact into your business model and growing your network with impact at the forefront takes many different forms. Everyone's business is so unique. And we wanted a way for all of these like-minded people to connect and share ideas on how they're doing that. So the Facebook group, again, it's new, but we hope that the people on it will connect and say, this is what I'm doing to incorporate impact in my business. This is working really well. These assets that corporate gave us, this is how I'm using them. So everyone adapts it very differently. So we're hoping that those conversations take flight this year as well. But again, that depends on how the wellness advocates use that. But that's our hope for that page as well. Then the other perks of being a 25 Collective member come with how long you've been a member. So after 3 months of donating, that's 3 months of consecutive donating, you become eligible to join our quarterly impact calls. And these are calls that we host at corporate each quarter that you can hop on to learn even more about the donation that you're giving. So each quarter we highlight a different country and region, and we bring on sourcing partners and members of our sourcing team to talk about that area. And we like to talk about two things. First, the oil, right? The sourcing region, we love that. And the wellness advocates love that too. We want to provide that more in-depth information and firsthand information. And then we break in, after that, we go into the humanitarian projects that are taking place or we want to fund in the future as well. So we like bringing on these people because they're on the ground seeing the needs, and they can tell that and describe that so much better than I can. I'm at corporate, I do the behind the scenes things. But when we have these sourcing partners and our sourcing team on the call, directly communicating that to the wellness advocates and our donors, it's so powerful. I'm always so humbled and feel so grateful after these calls, listening to the difference that's been made because of the wellness advocates participating. I'd say that's my favorite perk. I'm a little biased, but we also do, after 6 months of giving, you can host a doTERRA leader-led sourcing trip regardless of your rank, which is pretty cool for doTERRA. And you get priority.
I gotta share. Okay, that was like a big part of when I saw that there was a leader-led
Mm.
right, in 2023 that was available in Hawaii on the KMR Reserve and the Sandalwood. It just, my heart was just like saying yes, yes, yes. And so I had already qualified. I had already had more than 6 months of being a collective 25 member. And so the incentive, and that was a reward for me, was going, yes, I and I didn't know that, right, when I started giving. So it was like, oh, bonus, I actually get to do. So, this recording today is January 17th, 2025. And I hop on a plane here on January 19th, and I will be doing that Hawaiian co-impact sourcing the 20th to the 25th. So dreams do come true.
Fun.
Okay, carry on.
I just cannot wait to hear how it goes for you. And please share with us your experience because we love, again, bridging that connection back to our community so that they can learn from you, hear your experience. So I'm so excited for you, Heather. That's going to be so fun.
If someone already, I forget, I'll have to look back in my emails, had already reached out to me and Bonnie and I and said, okay, would you be open to, make sure you got enough videos and pictures and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
We can, showcase that. So thank you.
Absolutely. And then I believe you were talking about the convention reception that you've been to already, but after 12 months of consecutive giving, I mean, you'll be invited to a 25 collective reception at convention, which happens every September. And that's the part where you get to come in, we give you some snacks, and you get to hear from the sourcing partners again and our founding executives.
Yes.
It's truly incredible, and keep building those networks and supporting your team in new ways. It's really beautiful to see all that come together, and everyone just feels this inspiration together, and that's truly powerful.
Yeah, I remember the CEO of the company, right?
Mm-hmm. Kirk?
Yeah. And Emily, and they were like right there. Like I was like 2 seats back from seeing them. I've only ever seen them, on the screen, or I've seen them in the big, huge theater convention. So, I've never actually physically interacted. Now I'm going to leadership, so I'll be able to see some of them up close. But
yes.
It was an honor to be in that intimate space with like-minded people, and how they really celebrated our contributions. And the other highlight for me was Greg and Kilika Kanoi, who I'd been in communication with, right? Kilika Kanoi was the lady that I talked to and interviewed for the Maui reforestation. Anyway, I finally got to meet her in person. I finally got to give her a hug. So the two of them were there, and Bonnie, and we were, talking further with regards to the trip in January, and that was September. So to just have them there, and meet them in person. And then there were some other people from different countries that spoke that were in key roles. So yeah, that just being able to have that reception. So thank you for that, doTERRA.
You're welcome. It really is such a beautiful moment for all of that to come together, and we just feed off of your energy as well. And we kind of feel renewed to keep going back with all the work that we have to do, because you guys inspire us so much.
So is there anything else as far as recognition? Like, it's basically the 12 months they get an invite to the convention. Is there anything else that they get after 12 months?
We always like to have a little gift there at convention for them, but in terms of perks, we're always looking for new ways to make it better, more incentivized as well. We have swag, and the coaster, you got the coaster set. That was such.
So I've got these gorgeous, okay, they're beautiful, handmade from Nepal, wool coasters.
Yes.
That was a gift that we received. It's here on my desk.
Those were so beautiful. We loved giving those out. a nice set of 4, and hopefully they're all around your house now.
Yes, yes, they are. And they even match my decor. And, you know, there are other co-impact sourcing trips that are not that beyond Hawaii. Do you want to share? There's some other trips that collected 25 members. So I believe the Birch in the United States.
Yeah, in Pennsylvania. And I want to say, oh, I believe Kenya.
Yes.
We have a website, sourcingtrips.doterra.com, where that's where a lot of the co-impact sourcing information is. There's Bulgaria, there's Kenya, and Nepal. And so that's going to be the best resource if you have further questions or are very interested in these trips. I would highly recommend going there. Our events.
Is that website again, slowly?
Yeah, definitely. That's going to be sourcingtrips.doterra.com.
Thank you. Thank you. So I'm okay with collaborating, you know, for Hawaii. I'm like, Kenya and Nepal. But doTERRA also offers them, correct? So
Yeah.
yes, we can do a leader-led to those places.
Oh,
doTERRA is also offering those. They had those to Nepal and Kenya
yes.
last fall of 2024. And it's my understanding that if we're collective 25 collective, that our application, we can apply to attend those, and there's qualifications in order to attend that. Could you just expand maybe or share a little bit more about that or clarify that?
Yeah, so for the doTERRA ones, if you're a member of the 25 Collective, you have priority consideration. So that means our events team, they oversee all of those trips, but they will look at the 25 Collective list, prioritize that, and then open it up to other doTERRA members. So that is, if you kind of want to get ahead of an open seat on one of those trips, being a part of the 25 Collective is a great way to do that. So I would, if that's something that interests you,
Yes.
that's a great way to do it.
So I don't know, have they announced any of those trips? Are they doing any of those in 2025? Do you know?
They are doing them in 2025, but I think they're still putting that together.
It's like Heather wants to put things on my calendar, right? And save, and as long as it's around my gardening schedule. Just kidding.
Yes. No, that's very important. I would prioritize gardening.
Yeah, I go to convention and I'm harvesting garden. I go, nope, I'm going to convention. You know, the potatoes can wait. So I'm excited about the future of the 25 Collective community. And the match program is one of the things that I really want to up level. So yes, I'm personally giving $25. And I want to just share a funny story. I get phone calls. I've still got a landline, so I still get quite a few phone calls asking for donations. And I'm very empowered when I answer. And I explain how I'm a doTERRA wellness advocate, an impact advocate, and that I donate this much every month through this program. And the impact that it's having, and 100% of the money goes to 100% goes to the Healing Hands Foundation that's moved into those community, into those hands of those people. And so I thank them and I said, you can remove me off of your list because my commitment to the global community is through doTERRA's Healing Hands Foundation and this 25 Collective community. And they're like, wow, that, oh my God. And they're like asking me questions about it. They're like, that is amazing. Keep doing what you're doing, Heather. And I'm like, have a nice day. And they go, yeah, you too.
That is what it means to be an impact advocate.
Yeah, and I'm sharing my, this is the impact that I'm having positively. And those are organizations that I used to give to. And we don't always know, right? How much of what we're giving where it ends up. And so one of my goals for 2025 is the match program. And my previous podcast was interviewing Bonnie Erb, who won that beautiful Rose Award and got acknowledged for her deep passion for the match program. And she has been an inspiration for me. And those 7 categories of the Healing Hands Foundation that we align ourselves with a not-for-profit. And yes, that's my mission. When I talk and talk and talk, and I love to talk, I manifest that. I have to be a person. My word. So if I say I'm going to do something, I tell the world, and then I do it. I have to walk the talk, right? That's a health coach. I have to live. I can't advise other people what to do and then not live it myself. So the same thing. I really want to have this greater impact. That's why I chose doTERRA. Yes, as a health coach, I can work one-on-one. But doTERRA, I have this far greater mission of impacting so many more people, even just by using the oils myself. But there's so many more opportunities. It's thanks to the Healing Hands Foundation and, of course, the co-impact sourcing that I can have a greater impact globally. So in your introduction, you said about working with people with the match program. Anything you want to share there, or maybe explain what those 7 categories are?
Yeah, absolutely. I oversee the match program, so I can answer all your questions. But it really is a beautiful way for wellness advocates to get involved with their hands, because the 25 Collective community, you can donate, and it's a simple way to feel like you're having impact, and you really do. The match program is a tangible way to feel that even further. So with the match program, we have wellness advocates all over the world, and they have their own specific interests, right? Their passions, their philanthropic goals, and they can accomplish that by getting additional funding from us to make that impact even greater. So we are working on simplifying our initiatives actually to I believe, just health, self-reliance, disaster relief. We're trying to make, again, our messaging clearer, but the 7 categories of empowering women, supporting children, self-reliance is huge. We get a lot of applications coming in. Probably our top 2 are actually top 3, empowering women, supporting children, and self-reliance. We see a lot of people gearing towards those initiatives, and it's truly incredible to see the impact. Doing a match project isn't difficult. It can be a little bit more involved, but I can be there every step of the way. If you have questions, you can email, we can talk on the phone. I would love to help you, Heather, get involved in a match project. So if you or any of your listeners are on the call, have a deep passion for something that falls in these categories, definitely reach out to us. You can reach out to us at healinghands@doterra.com. We've got on our website also some step-by-step or some resources as well for the match program, but you can essentially run a fundraiser for a project that you're passionate about. And if we've approved your project, we can fund to match up to $10,000 for that project, which can go a long ways, especially for nonprofits looking for just some additional funds. It does have to be with a nonprofit charity registered as a 501c3. But the nonprofit can be in the United States, in Canada, it can be located anywhere around the world, and the project can take place anywhere around the world. So it's pretty customizable, so can be a little intimidating, but reach out. I'll help you every step of the way.
Was there water sanitation and
Yes.
child exploitation?
Anti-human trafficking, clean water. Man, there's 7 of them. I don't know why 7's so hard for me to remember. Global health, disaster relief, self-reliance, empowering women, and supporting children. Yes.
Beautiful. Yeah, we'll be in touch.
Yes.
So I think
I
one
know.
of the core things when I interview Bonnie is it has to be a concrete. It can't be for admin. It has to be a
Right.
concrete. I think she redid flooring in a men,
Mhm.
right? So it has to be a concrete thing that we're working towards, and it's in a short-term block of time as well. And yeah, that's a really important part of who I am and what I feel is in my doTERRA family going to be a focus for this 2025 year. And yeah, some really amazing things are going to transpire.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to see it. And just one other thing I wanted to add about the match program is the funds, these applications are only available for our wellness advocates. We don't, a nonprofit can't just apply for this grant money. We say, no, this is solely here because we want to empower our wellness advocates. We have so much confidence and trust, and we want to empower you to do the projects that you're passionate about. So the application has to come from you, and it has to come from our wellness advocates, which we love because that gets, there's this depth of connection, I feel like, that comes with the impact that you're having.
Absolutely. And the criteria has changed. I think when I came in 2019, you had to have a certain rank in order to do the match program. And I believe that has changed. You just have to be a wellness advocate that aligns with a not-for-profit. Is that correct?
No, that's actually reversed. So we used to not have a rank, but now you have to be elite or above.
Elite or above. And is there a diamond that is a supportive role in the project?
A diamond plus sponsor.
Okay,
Yep.
I just want to clarify. So you're a wellness advocate that's at least an elite, which is, right, they've reached 3,000 volumes. So that's, they're invested in doTERRA, and then they have the support of a diamond leader and whatever arrangement or whatever level of support. There's no specific commitments of what that diamond leader needs to do, but they do have that leadership there for them. Is that correct?
Correct, Heather. Yes.
All right. Well, thanks for clarifying that, because I'm more than elite. So okay, all the little details, right? But that's very doable for a lot of people to be elite and be able to apply for that. Beautiful. All right. So I think we covered, the future is looking great. From my perspective, it would be nice for the Healing Hands to be a little bit more visible on the actual doTERRA site. I have to go digging. I have to really look for things, and I know what I'm looking for, and it's not as easy to find as what I think it could be. So just a little tip there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. We are working so hard to become more visible. So hopefully this year we've got some things in the works. So hopefully that also for 2025 comes about as well.
Beautiful. All right. So any final things that you want to, I haven't asked you, that you wanted to share?
The last thing that I was thinking about was for the 25 Collective. Why I love it so much is it's this bridge between corporate and the field. This is finally because our employees can participate in this program as well, and our wellness advocates can too. So it feels like this bridge of bringing those two efforts to support doTERRA together. And it's pretty powerful. We love seeing how motivated our employees are with this initiative, as well as with the wellness advocates. So I just like to add that we're really all in this together. We're really all invested to make this impact possible. So, and moving forward.
I can feel that. In the marketplace on the website, you can purchase clothing that has the Healing Hands. I've got this huge wardrobe, like every day of the week. I've got a Healing Hands. I've got my Smile Doesn't Well for that podcast t-shirt on at the moment. I should have had my Healing Hands t-shirt. And I love the wardrobe. So in the marketplace, when you purchase, just, I want to clarify that when you purchase those items, does the money go towards the Healing Hands Foundation?
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I've got a huge wardrobe. They're great clothes. Like and I actually do wear them. Sometimes we buy clothes, whatever. It's like, "Oh, I don't really wear that much, but no.
Uh-huh.
I've got a whole section of my drawers that is just doTERRA shirts and Healing Hands. And yeah, I've got a doTERRA wardrobe. It's awesome. Just one other thing, can you explain a little bit about the Hope campaign and what that is as part of the Healing Hands?
Yeah. So this was an initiative that came about because we wanted to be a little bit more involved with anti-human trafficking. And that's evolved over the years. So where it's at right now in doTERRA Healing Hands is when funding comes in, we have projects within the community that are specific for anti-human trafficking. So when you purchase a bottle of Hope Oil, some of those funds go towards supporting our anti-human trafficking projects. We know it's a great need in our community and all over the world. So we have that product as a way to show our support to fund those different projects that we get. And a good way to get involved too is if you run a match project for an anti-human trafficking project or charity, those are rolled into our Hope initiatives.
And there's also a rose lotion, correct?
Yeah, rose lotion, those funds kind of just goes towards general funding. When you purchase Hope, those specifically go towards projects that are geared towards anti-human trafficking. But you can, correct, purchase rose lotion and those funds go towards us.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, surprise question. Jenny, what's in your diffuser today?
My diffuser, okay. I know it's not fall, it's January, but I am a sucker for Harvest Spice. I love the smell and it really just makes me feel like I'm at home baking something special. So can't live without it.
And that's a specialty one, so you must stock up.
I do. I do. I just can't get enough of it, honestly. I love that spice, that oil.
Yeah, I did an essential emotion meditation with the Harvest Spice, and it was just that such comfort and gratitude and a sense of belonging with that blend. Yeah.
It's so warm. Yes.
Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And do you want to just share one more time? And I mean, it will be in the post as well, but just the best way that they could take action to contribute to the Healing Hands Foundation and become, ideally, a 25 Collective community member.
Yeah, you can donate to the doTERRA Healing Hands Foundation by adding a donation to your LRP or one-time order. You can just type in donation in the search bar and different amounts will pop up that you can add to your order. And if you'd like to become a 25 Collective member, make sure to just add SKU 2004. That's again a $25 donation. And keep that on your LRP. If it falls off your LRP from 1 month, it's kind of like you have to start over a little bit for those perks. So I would just every time just make sure it's on your LRP to remain eligible.
So those of us as Canadians, we cannot put that on a US LRP.
Say that one more time.
We as Canadians cannot contribute to the Healing Hands donation when we have a US warehouse order. We can only make a Healing Hands donation out of the Canadian warehouse. So yes, if you are doing an LRP, yes, you can add it in. Otherwise, what I tend to do, I often have the US because I get more supplements out of the US. So then I go in and I just do a one-time order with Canada. And anyone can make a donation at any time. You don't have to have an LRP now. You just pop in there and you can do the $25 donation as a one time. And then I just do it one time every month that I'm.
And we are working, I promise, we are working on ways to make that less of a headache. So hopefully that's coming soon, because it can be so much more simple and we can reach so many more people. We acknowledge that. So that is something we're working on.
My goal was the 25th of the month, go in and do my donation of 25. Was sort of a reminder, ding ding, into my day timer.
I love that idea. Yes. Great.
Thank you again. I really appreciate your time, and what an amazing role you have each day that doTERRA has, having you support these wellness advocates for the global impact. Like, what an amazing role you have, and thank you for taking your time to be part of my podcast, being my guest today.
Absolutely. Thank you, Heather. It's really been a delight, and thank you so much. We're inspired by all you do.
Thank you. So this is Heather Dreger of Smile. There's an oil for that. Have an awesome day.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.